All right, hey, so good morning, first of all. I was going to do a video that I kind of walked through the notes, but I think what I'm going to do instead, because it's really late and I've already tried to make a video of the notes and it didn't work out, is I'm going to send you an email with the notes, and then you can go look at those. And I'm going to have you kind of read through some of the material in your book, so you'll need your book today. If you don't have it, not good. You need to make sure you bring your book to class, but also make sure you bring it tomorrow or Friday as well. And so what we're going to do is I'm introducing a project to you for chapter 14. There's like a little bit of a test to it, but you have your main grade is going to come from a discussion that we're going to have on climate change. So you're going to be broken up into two different groups. I'll break you up into groups when we get back, but right now I just need you doing research, looking up information, trying to understand climate change, figure out, is it real? Is it a myth? What are the people saying now? What did people say about it 20 years ago, 30 years ago? What does the Bible say about it? So on and so forth. But everything you can find on climate change, then you need to find it so we can have it on this discussion. So I'm going to click through some of these slides. You can pause this on each one and write down or type down each question. But I'm just going to click through. This will be a short video, and you can figure out what it is you need to be researching, because it's going to be the questions that I'm going to ask you when we do this. Do you have to do this project? Yeah, it's kind of a major grade. You have to do this. Do you have to speak? Yes, you have to speak. You need to do research. That way, when it's your turn to speak, you can contribute to the conversation. And you can just, I don't know, you can add to the conversation. You can speak confidently. You're actually speaking from a credible source. And it'll end up being, this will either be a major grade, or this might even be our exam. I'm not entirely sure yet. So make sure that you click through, or I'm going to click through. You pause this, type in the questions. We get, so let us begin. This will be the first thing we look at. Is it, pretty much, is it real or is it not? So what is your stance on climate change? And do you believe that climate change is harming our planet at an alarming pace? It's question number one. Question number two, what is driving climate change? Is it man or is it nature? Something that we should be worried about. Question number three, can current weather events be tied to climate change or global warming? Can you definitively prove that, or is there evidence out there that shows that the weather that we experience today, the increase in Cat 5 hurricanes, the expansion of tornado season, is that tied to climate change, or has it always been that way? And we just, as technology increases, our insight and ability to understand grows with that, and we see and understand more, we share more knowledge is easily available to us at our fingertips. How would changes in climate affect our day-to-day life, and how would not making changes, well, let me read that again. How would changes in climate affect our day-to-day life? So if the climate was changing, how would we be affected from day to day? And if it's not, or how would not making changes affect us? So changes to the climate having an effect on us not making our changes on human activity, how would that, increase that or decrease, or however you want to explain that? You just need to make sure you have evidence that supports your claim. Can Earth's climate really change negatively? Also, where does climate change stand biblically? Does the Bible say that the climate will change? Does the Bible say, what does the Bible say about the world? So look those up, be able to answer and be prepared to defend your answer. The next question is, what steps are being taken to take better care of our planet? So is there something set in place already? Are there people, are there leaders, or somebody doing something to take care of our planet? And how does taking care of the planet fit in with the original commands in Scripture? If you don't know what those are, go look those up. It's in Genesis. It's one of the first things that you see in the Bible. So, is there any hope for our planet to cool if it is warming? That is, who knows? It might be getting cooler with the weather that we've had in last week and into this week. It could be that we are getting cooler. Maybe we need global warming. Once again, not suggesting anything. You need to do the research for yourself. How do temperature fluctuations fit into overall picture of Earth's history? Are there times where we experience an ice age followed by, or I guess an ice age followed by periods of warming and then another cooling again? And so how does all this work over the span of history? Is it worth looking at to see if there's any trends historically? What is the role of CO2 in global warming? How are its effects increased and decreased? What measures are being taken already to protect the environment? Are there policies and procedures set in place at the company level for different companies, at the government level? Like, what is there to make, are there any regulations to make sure that things are happening the right way? What's out there? Somebody tell me. Here's a good one. Have the polar ice caps ever melted before? Have they always been there, or is that something new? Can you challenge the idea that they've always been there? Do you have research for it? And then what is man's role in climate change? And moving forward, what is the best policy you or your team can adapt to make the world a better place? Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to is how can you protect the planet we live on, take care of its resources, not pollute or trash it, and ultimately just leave it in as a better place than what you found it. I mean, that should be with anything that you go into. You should always try to leave a place better than you found it for the next person. So what is man's role, and how, moving forward, how can we better practice taking care of the planet that the Lord has given us? So I'll send you the notes. Make sure you're looking in your book. And then I'll go more in depth when I get back on what's expected. This will probably be our last chapter before we go into the 9 weeks exam. So we'll spend some time here. We'll spend some time in the library, and I guess which way, I don't know how the screen's gonna be facing. But we'll spend some time on it. However, you have time now to start preparing, start doing research. Don't really have homework right now, so make sure this is not necessarily a priority, but you're not putting it back. We're not procrastinating. It's not that it has to be done by the next time you come to class, but it should be a priority because you're not getting homework. So this takes the place of that. So I hope you're enjoying your week. I'll be back with you on Monday. And until then, see ya.